Yo, that depressed Midoriya pack hitting right now. Before we hop into this review of chapter 316 of My Hero Academia, please do me a favor and leave your own thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Now, let's get into it. What's up, guys? I got the pencil here, and here we are to review chapter 316 of My Hero Academia, which is known as You're Next. And honestly, this chapter, it really, see, I have a positive and a negative view of this chapter. Like, I'm being completely real with y'all. Like, I love this chapter for certain things. Like, I really do enjoy this chapter for specific reasons, but at the same time, this chapter kills so many things I was excited for that I'm not entirely sure how to feel. But enough of my weird preliminary thoughts. Let's hop right into the next. And the thing is, this chapter was slapping in the sense of the opening. Like, it does kind of throw me off. I guess Hawks was like thrown by Endeavor. Maybe that's what happened when he went to catch Lady Nagant. I guess Hawks was like launched in the general direction of her. He wasn't actually flying towards her, because we see Endeavor, like, he's flying towards Midoriya over a Hawks and Lady Nagant as they're falling. So I'm assuming he had like dropped Hawks off, and Hawks ended up trying to go and fly with his weaker wings, trying to go save Lady Nagant. Meanwhile, Endeavor's just informing Midoriya, hey, sorry I'm late, I'm not good in the rain. And like, that makes sense. But weren't you like criticizing Bakugo about not having excuses of him being like poor in the winter because he can't sweat enough? Don't make excuses, Endeavor. Just burn past the rain, bro. Like, you literally could. I feel like rain, and I mean, I guess any water would just make his quirk more difficult to use, so I can't be too mad at him, but come on, Endeavor, really? And the thing is, like, the interesting, I guess it's weird. Hold on, let me see. Is his voice still jacked up? I'm Hawks, I'm your successor. So it's kind of, he's yelling, that's why he's so concerned. But the amazing thing is, Midoriya has like, I love his situational and spatial awareness now. Like, he instantly reacts to Hawks being like, I can't fly yet. He instantly launches Black Whip and gets a hold of Hawks while he's holding Lady Nagant. And the thing is, Midoriya's like, I have no strength left, I can't hold them. And he's like, as he's thinking this, he's yelling to Hawks about how basically the entire situation, she literally just blew up despite the fact that she was about to turn good. And Midoriya just realizes the truth that she was gifted a quirk by All For One, and that obviously was a trap, or it was like a safety measure, which is very, very good. This is very interesting, like how our hero and villain are sort of like 3D chessing each other in the real time. It's super interesting to see. But we get to see that Lady Nagant is crispy. She's looking like All For One. So it's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of jacked up. I shouldn't say that, but she actually does look like All For One a little bit, looking at that burnt panel. And the thing is, this is where like the disappointment starts to creep in a bit. The fact that Hawks and Lady Nagant don't know each other is kind of sad. Like, the fact that Hawks is like, I'm your successor, I just replaced you after you left the Hero Commission. I really wished there was a backstory with Hawks and Lady Nagant. Because why isn't there? Why wouldn't that be the case? Hawks straight up acknowledges her as his senpai. Like, she's literally super dangerous, and they worked in the same area. You couldn't have made it, Horikoshi, that they had known each other, that this was just something here. And I feel like the line that you throw in about Lady Nagant being surprised that Hawks still has like the heroic flames despite working for the Hero Commission, I'm confused. Like, why wouldn't it have been even better if Hawks and Nagant had a relationship, and like a previous like student-teacher relationship, and like she expected after him working at the Hero Commission, knowing that he worked at the Hero Commission, would have lost the flame in his eyes just like she did after all that time working for them and doing dark deeds, and she would look to them to expect to see like empty eyes just like hers, only to see Hawks' flames. Like, that would have been better. I don't know why Horikoshi made it so that these two couldn't have been in the same time period. I don't know. Or like training, because Hawks was training since he was a kid. And I feel like Midoriya knows about the Lady Nagant situation. We don't know how old Nagant is. At least I don't think we do. But I bet at most she's like mid-30s, early 40s. So I feel like, considering the fact that Hawks was training with the Hero Commission since he was a kid, and Hawks is like 22, I do believe. He's been training since he was like 7. I feel like he definitely would have been around in the time that Lady Nagant was still a hero. She's still notable enough that Snipe, another hero, is still like talking about her and praising her. Like, I feel like Lady Nagant's hero days weren't really that far away. So I'm kind of shocked that they don't have any relationship. I mean, it seems just like to kill something that was super interesting. I would have loved the backstory between Hawks and Lady Nagant, but it's not there. And that's the thing. This leads to one of the things where I like about the chapter, but I don't like about the chapter. I like the idea that Hawks and his heroism and like the lasting heroism with Hawks and Midoriya is what inspires Lady Nagant to fight through the pain and tell them where All For One is supposedly hiding out, in that forest in the mansion. And it's cool to see that, and I'm glad she's also giving up enough information that, like, All For One, he called a squad together. He did have people that he was going to use to execute Midoriya and stuff like that, or bring Midoriya to him, and that's pretty cool. But the thing is, we have that, and at the same time, there's just like a lost potential relationship that I feel like would have been so cool, but that's maybe just me. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think about that in the comment section. Like, are y'all also cool with the fact that Hawks, well, we have to be cool with it happened, but do y'all like the fact that Hawks and Lady Nagant have like no actual, like, this is their first time meeting? Are you cool with that, or would you have preferred like an actual background? I know a lot of y'all actually don't really care much about the background of these characters. You just want the plot to move forward, but I feel like it would have been more impactful if these two had some sort of previous relationship, because like Hawks is, "'cause I'm an optimist," is like, it doesn't hit as hard because these two have never met before. Like, Hawks just idolizes her and doesn't know anything about her personally, which is kind of sad. And the thing is, we get to see another wasted opportunity, which is Overhaul being pulled up by Endeavor. Like, Endeavor has Overhaul in his grasp, and he brings him there. And Overhaul is like, "I need to apologize to the boss, boss." And here's where that depressed Midoriya pack be hitting. I love it. I don't know. Like, well, y'all know, I really prefer characters in comparison to symbols, and Midoriya has been a symbol for the longest time. So seeing this, like, human reaction out of Midoriya, it tastes good. Like, I like this. This is quality stuff right here. Like, I like my characters when they're acting human, and Midoriya's finally acting human. You can kind of see it, how darkly he's looking at Chisaki, how tired he looks. Like, you can see the bags under his eyes. Like, this is a Midoriya who's damaged, beaten down both psychologically and physically, and I love seeing that, and it's lasting. That's the thing, because Midoriya has been beaten down physically by himself and others, and Midoriya has been like tired and stuff like that, but like this seems to be something with lasting permanence. Like, this isn't the bright cheery boy, and I'm glad this feels more realistic, because as a person, well, this feels like how a person would react if they were in Midoriya's situation, and I feel like this is one of the most human reactions we get to see Midoriya ever have, which I love. And we get to see Midoriya just testing him. He's like legitimately looking at Chisaki and is like, "Yo, do you remember what you did to Eri?" And Overhaul instantly is like, "Eri, that's right, that thing I abused. Man, if she were here, she could fix the boss." And Midoriya's like, "Man, I'm glad that you feel remorse towards someone. Too bad it isn't towards Eri." And the thing is, I'm intrigued with what Midoriya says here. "If only you could feel the same way towards Eri-chan. The promise you made with Lady Nagant, I'll keep it." And does that mean Midoriya is going to drop Overhaul off at the boss? Is he really going to do that? Take this man back to jail. What? I don't know. That seemed weird to me. When I first read that, I'm like, did I read that right? I had to reread it. It seems strange. Like, and like Overhaul's shocked by it too. This is a very interesting case, because this could either still be Horikoshi like saving Overhaul for later, or this could be him writing him out of the narrative. I'm not sure what Overhaul is going to do when he gets to the boss, because the boss should still be in a coma. And I don't know, maybe you guys have been doing a great job in the comment section telling me about how he could likely have evolved his quirk to work with his feet. He may just not know it, or he's just hiding the fact for now, considering it may not be as strong as his hand version, since he doesn't have as much practice with it. So he could just be holding off for that. And if he is, man, this is a long game, and I'm super intrigued to see with what Midoriya is doing, taking him to the boss. I don't know, this seems like a weird thing, like to honor this murderous, ruthless villain's like request. I don't know. Take him to jail. I guess he isn't like out here trying to murder anybody, he's just trying to go apologize to somebody, but still, I guess he's gonna take him to jail afterwards. I don't know. I wouldn't even let him do it. I'd be spiteful. That's the only thing. Like, there's some of Midoriya's true heroism leaking in again, because I'd be spiteful as heck. I'd be like, "No, you aren't going to the boss, you're going to jail." Like, that's what I would do. But Midoriya's still a nice dude deep down, which is why he's probably gonna honor the promise that Lady Nagant made. And we get to see All Might. Yeah, I didn't mention it, but I was right. That call that All Might made, it was to Endeavor and the gang, and they brought him. Bada bing, bada boom. He was alive. He's perfectly fine. We don't get to, I guess so. It makes sense why we don't get to see it, because I guess Endeavor came in on the clutch. I wish we got to see Endeavor like quickly saving All Might. It literally just had to be a panel. You didn't need to stretch the fight out that long. But I want to know how All Might got away unscathed from those two guys. Was Endeavor really that close? I don't know. I guess he was scaring them too, so it's fine. But man, that's kind of an anti-plot lead too. But regardless of that, we get to see that Kai, well, I don't know why I called him Kai. Chisaki and Nagant are going to an emergency hospital. And Hawks is like, Midoriya, in fact, you look hurt pretty bad too, so you better go. And Midoriya's like, nope, I'm sorry, I'm a top tier menace. And he literally is just coming along with them, and he's leading the charge too. I love it when they get to High Body Forest, and like I love that name too, Creature Rejection Clan Hideout. That's such a cool name. And we get to see that Midoriya is like ready, like straight up ready to just take care of business. And he's going in. They enter the mansion, and it's empty. Obviously, like there was no reason for them to expect All For One to really be there. Especially if he was smart enough to set a trap and lay Nagant, there's no way he was actually going to be at the location where he told her to go. Like, this isn't very shocking to me. And I'm not surprised Midoriya went there anyway, because it's probably their only lead and they need something. And I love, like, slowly but surely, I'm starting to like All For One more and more. In fact, due to how much more exposure I'm getting to him and how much more of a credible threat, like both physically and mentally, he is to Midoriya, and how much of a menace he is, maybe like he's catching up to Shigaraki pretty darn quickly, because we get to see that All For One is like, hey, did you enjoy your convo with Lady Nagant? I bet it was pretty deep, huh? She really was the bomb, wasn't she? Get it, because I blew her up. And regardless, I'd love to anticipate things. Someone like you can't bring, like, he's literally psychoanalyzing Midoriya. He knows Midoriya inside and out, despite, I think, he may have seen Midoriya in passing. I don't think these two, and obviously they met in the war arc, but the thing is, he's never like actually sat down, had a conversation with Midoriya. Nothing of that has happened. I mean, I guess you can count the one for all visage stuff, but the thing is, he still knows Midoriya's type so well, probably due to his experience as like this pseudo-immortal being, that he's just read every single move Midoriya's gonna make. He's breaking down the problems with the society. But I know the thing is, I love All For One in this moment, because All For One doesn't really care about Hero Society. He sees it more so as a joke. Like, he doesn't really validate it. He doesn't care that people are called villains. He wants to be the greatest villain anyway. So if there wasn't a Hero Society, he couldn't be the greatest villain. But I love how he's not necessarily attacking Hero Society. He's attacking Midoriya's psyche. He's essentially, what All For One is doing by the end of this chapter is throwing stab after stab, stake after stake into Midoriya's mind and seeing if one of these things sticks. That's all he really wants. He wants to see if he can break Midoriya. That's the main goal now. He literally says at the end of the chapter, I don't really care about All Might. My interests are no longer in All Might. But in prison, I never stop thinking about you. You're next. I love it. And then he blows up the mansion. But like, come on now. We're Horikoshi, you gotta stop. Like, you're not funny, bro. Seriously, stop with these anti-stakes. We know they're all alive. Like, come on now. This isn't. You can't do this to me, Horikoshi, because it doesn't work anymore. Stop with these fake stakes. But regardless of that, I love seeing All For One just being a true, objectionably horrible person. It's just cool to me. I like that. And I'm glad that he has fully shifted his ideas and his, like, I want to break you to Midoriya. And that's going to involve killing All Might. Like, he's going to rip All Might's heart out in front of Midoriya's face and be like, here, eat this. Like, the way that All For One be having these All Might references, these All Might quotes on deck, he's gonna be on some next level stuff when he finally kills All Might in front of Midoriya. And I don't know how he would know about eat this, but if he does anything, like, he's holding up All Might's dismembered head and goes, eat this, just to like squeeze out the last drops of power, I lose my mind. That'd be great. But that's the thing, I love this chapter, but it kills possibilities but opens some more ones. So what I love about this chapter, obviously I love the stuff with Midoriya, like, going through suffering, actually feasibly pain, like the actual suffering that Midoriya's going through mentally, and like, you can tell let me try to articulate myself better. What I mean with Midoriya going through suffering is that Midoriya is sort of on a run through with his previous villains right now. He's trying to figure out if the choice to even try to save Shigaraki is worth it. And so far, he's been proven wrong twice, right once. He's proven right with Lady Nagant, only for her to blow up anyway, which kind of like is a half success because obviously Lady Nagant is still extremely damaged and can't do much now. But she still is technically a success. But Muscular failed. He needed to stop him physically. Overhaul, he doesn't have to stop him physically, but this is purely a mental battle. And due to Overhaul not being able to change, he doesn't win again. So like Midoriya is slowly questioning himself more and more. And of course, there's All For One, someone that Midoriya hasn't even been able to remotely reach. Like he's literally chasing the crumbs, the breadcrumbs left by All For One. So seeing Midoriya slowly suffer with this, like you can tell. I love how a lot of the things in this chapter with Midoriya and how he's feeling internally are conveyed purely through artwork. You can tell how damaged and tired he is, and like the physical damage represents a mental damage. When he sees Chisaki, he doesn't smile, he doesn't look angry, he just looks tired, he looks in pain. You can tell and once you see him talking to Overhaul, like actually speaking to him, you can tell like there's this repressed anger. Like he really wants to smack the taste out of Overhaul's mouth, and I love that. This is where I love characters who feel human, because this is an actual genuine reaction I can see a real human being having, and I love it. This is great. I love that in this chapter. I like the idea that Hawks is like also acting as a supplement to Midoriya. Like he's also a true hero in heart and like doesn't care about all the dark things he had to do. He never lost the fire in his eyes for Lady Nagant. So that's good too. I'm glad she gets like some sort of closure, even if we never get to see her again, which I hope we get to see her again. I hope this isn't her being permanently written out the narrative, but it's Horikoshi. I wouldn't be shocked if we didn't see her for like 500 chapters or never saw her again. It'd be like that when it'd be like that a lot of the times. I can't even say sometimes with Horikoshi. Another thing I love, obviously, All For One, All For Menace, All For just top tier. I love him. He's fantastic. He's doing great as this like demon king. I don't know. He's super corny, but like where me being corny is making a bad joke, him being corny is literally blowing somebody up in front of someone else in order to break their willpower and slaughtering countless innocents. Like he is petty and he's nasty and he's disgusting and he's a villain and he is what I would like to call a menace. And y'all know, and if actually don't, maybe y'all don't know, I really enjoy menaces. They're fun to me. And seeing All For One be this hyper massive super menace by literally just poking Midoriya again and again, breaking him down, using All Might's own words against Midoriya. That is what I love to see. I love villains that will psychologically attack their protagonist just as much as they attack them physically, because a physical fight is always cool, but the psychological damage is what's always more interesting to me personally. And I'm glad to see that All For One's doing both, completely indirectly, by the way. Like, to be fair, the psychological damage is pretty direct, but he's really just reinforcing the psychological damage she already did with Lady Nagant. Like right at the end, I love that. That's great, and I'm super glad to see all three of those things in this chapter. The only things that hold it back is like, see, I can't hold on. I was initially going to write off Overhaul completely at this point, but who knows? Considering that Midoriya does plan to keep his promise, the promise that Lady Nagant made, and take Overhaul to the boss, that could still go somewhere. Y'all know I really like Overhaul. That's why I'm still like itching on that Overhaul hype train. Like I want him to come back in some way, shape, or form. That would be great for me. Please do it. Not Nakama. Please do it, Horikoshi. I would greatly appreciate it, but I understand if you don't want to. And the only other thing is Hawks and Lady Nagant's like lacking relationship. Like the fact that they've never met until now is kind of disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. I wish there was some sort of connection there. I wouldn't even minded a quick flashback to like Nagant and Hawks trading. Like Hawks has insane precision, just like Lady Nagant does. I would have loved to see the two training together with that. I don't know. That's just the only thing. But regardless of that, despite my two little nitpicks, this chapter is still super solid. Like this is definitely an 8.5 chapter. Like y'all, I'm only taking a point off because of the lost potential with Hawks and Lady Nagant and how it makes the Kazam and Optimus feel a little bit weird. I just felt like a Silver the Hedgehog line. Like I don't know if any of my Sonic fans are out there, but like Kazam and Optimus definitely felt like something Silver would say, especially in 2006 and like any of his more recent incarnations. But that it just didn't hit as much, so I have to take a point off for that. And the hypothetical writing Midoriya out the narrative, not Midoriya, writing Overhaul out the narrative is also a bit concerning to me, along with like writing Lady Nagata out the narrative, because these are two super interesting characters with a lot of super interesting connections, with super interesting backgrounds that we probably won't see, and that kind of disappoints me. But I think that's it for me. I think this is a solid 8.5. Super good, super great. Love seeing all the characters we get to see, and I hope that we don't cut away. There's a likelihood that we could cut away. A lot of people were worried about that we're going to cut away after this explosion. We're not going to see the results for a while. I hope we don't. I hope we just get to see that everyone survived, because they're obviously all going to survive. And yeah, I'm excited for next week, mainly just to see what's going on next, what's going to happen next. Like, we see All For One sort of has assembled his own 10 commandments, basically, like this own group of people that are all going to be hunting down Midoriya, and Midoriya's going to have to deal with them all. And these may be absolute strangers that Midoriya's never met with before, and he's going to have to deal with them as strangers while trying to keep up his heroic ideology. It's going to be super interesting. Can't wait. But enough of me going on and on and on. Please tell me what you think about this chapter in the comment section down below. What was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part? If there's any missed potential in this chapter, please tell me in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.